Welcome to Insights from the MDM and Data Governance Summit. This is our 11th annual event here in New York City, and we're very lucky and happy to have both veteran practitioners such as Labatt, AB, and Bev, as well as market-leading solution providers such as Magnitude Software. And today, in particular, we're going to have Alice Bazdikian and Darren Peirce share with us some of their insights about the use of MDM in general and specifically within Labatt. So our first question is, where do you see MDM playing in the beverage industry? You're one of the largest beverage providers, if not the largest in the world. So clearly, master data would have an impact of some sort.
So we are currently the largest beer company in the world with the acquisition of SAB Miller that just closed. We have a huge portfolio of brands. We have 60 brands just in Labatt, Canada. And then globally, we have many, many more. And now with SAB Miller, we're truly a global company. We have a heritage of purchasing companies and consolidating the industry, and as such MDM is very important because you have many structures that you've inherited over time and you want to make sure that you consolidate and report as a company. So as such, competitive information both within the beer category and outside of the beer category is extremely important for us to drive our key KPIs that drive our business, growing our category and also growing our share of that category.
Okay.
So that's where competitive intelligence, and if you think about the number of craft brewers that play in Canada and in the US, that's a lot of information that we need to consolidate within our master data in order to get a whole view of the industry.
So how is Labatt specifically using that to address the key business priorities? Because so far, that sounds like master data management in any merger and acquisition scenario. We've got organizations where we're looking for economies of scale, shared customer, distribution, dealers, products, overlap, et cetera. But in specific, then what are your business priorities where MDM is making a difference?
Really understanding our industry and bringing in new data sources. That's where MDM makes a difference, because I can have a portfolio of 10 new data sources, but my first question to everyone who always comes to me with can we analyze this? Can we integrate this? Can we see if this makes any sense? Is, well, what's the master data? Let me look at it. How do we integrate it with our system to know that we actually can compare it to an internal data and we're actually getting good information? So there's lots of information out there. We know that with data science and the explosion of data all over, data science and analytics are a huge priority for companies, but it's not just having the data, it's really leveraging it. That's where MDM is really important, and that's where it's key for Labatt to be able to do that. And so far, it's been an opportunity and a barrier because there's so much data out there that master data is really the common language that brings it all together so we can actually use it and leverage it. And that's where MDM plays a key role.
Okay, and then you selected Magnitude's MDM solution. And we've seen them in discrete and process industries before, so they clearly have a track record there with data warehouse and other key technologies. But what specifically did you find in the Magnitude MDM software that helped you address these business problems?
So really our analytics are driven by the business, and the master data needs beyond our operational needs are really driven by the business and the flexibility that the business needs. As we're buying new companies, our business model changes, our priorities change, our KPIs change. As a global organization, we have different priorities now, and so every year I could have a different KPI or a different way I want to look at my data in my business. And so having flexible way to do that, and I think that's where Magnitude is really strong, that BI flexibility where I can easily add a category, I can create hierarchies, I can basically answer what the business needs very quickly, and of course with a good partner to implement the requirements and really understand our business. That's where Magnitude is really adding value for Labatt.
So what I hear is flexibility in adding data sources and likewise the modeling, and then likewise the analytics that you get out of a Magnitude solution. Darren, your company has had a lot of experience in successful MDM implementations. How do those customers measure their success with MDM?
So Aaron, it's a really interesting question. For me, ultimately success is not measured by MDM. MDM is an enabler for business outcomes, and the business outcomes can either be tied to revenue growth, could either be tied to efficiencies inside the organization, or reducing exposure through compliance, through governance and risk, ultimately delivering controls. So I think the real measure of success within our customers, and the way we advocate our customers take advantage of the technology, is to ultimately drive value for that organization. So we see customers doing things like reducing the amount of time it takes to introduce a new product to the product life cycle, and ultimately driving, therefore, a more efficient production and more responsive product life cycle. We see customers targeting cross-sell and upsell opportunities inside their base by consolidating and rationalizing their common understanding of a product. We see other customers rationalizing their vendor management, and so ultimately driving towards reducing total spend across a given sector and best alternative products. All of those things ultimately, for me, are about driving revenue growth or efficiencies and controls inside the business. And that's, for me, how a successful MDM project is measured.
And so what we have here is a series of insights from veteran practitioners with their successes in MDM, both from a solution provider as well as a consumer of MDM technologies. And we want to thank you for coming to our conference here in New York City and taking the time out of your busy calendars to help share and promote the notion of MDM and how to be successful with MDM. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you, Aaron.